Welcome to this series of videos on the statistical package R. I'm John Lee, a tutor from Actec, the Actuarial education company, and in this brief video I'll be showing you how to get R to calculate using arithmetic operators and the basics of R's syntax. So I've just launched R. Let's maximize our console window and clear the screen by typing Ctrl-L. I'm also going to change the preferences in the Edit menu so that the text is slightly larger, which makes it easier for those watching on the video. Now we're ready to begin. Recall from a previous video that R is a command-based programming language, so we'll have to type in commands rather than clicking on icons or choosing options in menus. So on screen you'll see a little greater than symbol, which is called the prompt. Now we'll type commands at the prompt and then press enter to get R to execute the command. R will then return the result or produce a graphical output or send an output to a file or a device. So let's get R to carry out some simple arithmetic. For example, 2 plus 3. We'll hit enter to execute the command, and R returns the output to this command, which is the correct answer of 5. However, note that the output line is preceded by a 1 in square brackets. This is an index number of the first answer on that line. Now, if the output consists of many values over several lines, then each new line will start with an index number of the first element of that line. So, supposing I had 5 answers, 3 answers on the first line and 2 on the second line, then the first line would have an index of 1, and the second line would have an index of 4. Similarly, we can use R to subtract numbers. For example, -3 take away -5, which gives us an answer of 2. Note that when we're typing commands into R, it ignores spaces, so I could type minus space 3, space minus space minus 5 and get exactly the same answer. So, given that it ignores spaces, we could omit them altogether, but actually we'll probably leave them in because it's helpful for us to read the commands. Now, just like Excel and other places, multiplication uses the asterisk and division uses the /. So I could do 3 times 2, take away 1 divided by 4. We can see that R uses algebraic logic to calculate the expression. That is, it calculated multiplication and division before addition of subtraction. So if we want it to do something different, we'll need to use brackets to tell us what we actually wanted. So 3 times, open bracket 2, take away 1 divided by 4, close bracket. Suppose I made a mistake. Suppose I actually wanted to do 1 divided by 5. And not 1 divided by 4. Well, rather than retyping the whole command again, I could use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move back to the previous command. Pressing the up arrow re-enters that command. I can then use the back arrow or the mouse button to edit the command. We then press enter to re-execute it. Powers can be obtained in the usual way using the raise power key on your keyboard. Alternatively, we could use the double asterisk. Let's now look at some non-numeric outputs that you might see in the future. If we calculated 5 divided by 0, it returns the output inf, which unsurprisingly stands for infinity. However, if we try to calculate 0 divided by 0, it returns the output nan, which isn't a misspelling of nan, but stands for not a number, i.e. it's undefined. Finally, let's look at what happens if I make a mistake. For example, supposing I type 2 to the power of and then hit enter. R realizes I've clearly not finished my command, and so it helpfully gives us a plus prompt to say, and I can then enter the bit I've forgotten and press enter. We'll also see the plus key if our expression goes on to the next line. However, supposing I made a mistake, say I was doing 2 times 3 take away 8, and forgot to close the bracket and hit enter, and I didn't realize what I've done wrong, and I just want to cancel this and type something else. There are 3 ways of doing that. I could click on the red stop icon at the top of the screen, or go to the miscellaneous menu and click on stop current computation, or use the helpful shortcut that's given of escape. This then returns us to the greater than prompt and then carry on with our next command. This completes the tutorial on arithmetic operators. In our next video, we'll cover basic commands.